I thought early in the game, we've turned this around since the Georgetown game, really, with our defense. Our defense has been good. Our offense has been awful. And we started out tonight with our offense being good and our defense being awful. And we just let them get penetration and get layups and dunks. And once we got back in and kind of tightened that up a little bit, they missed a couple shots. I think they were 13 for 15. If I didn't realize that, good thing I didn't know that. I would have probably quit. But when you're shooting layups, you should shoot a high percentage, and we were just giving them layups. But then, once we took that away, they missed a couple threes. We had a couple good offensive possessions. We were most patient we've been all year. Dante didn't just waited, and Paul carried us and Johnny carried us early, and then we got Dante a couple looks, and he knocked him down. Christoph made the big shot of the game. He's been threatening to make a three most of the year. He hasn't made one yet in practice or in a game, but he's been threatening to make one, and that was a big shot, he made over there. And then we just, played smart, but really this was a, Johnny Flynn, Paul Harris game. They were absolutely spectacular, as good as, anybody I can remember in a long time. Villanova's a very physical, tough defensive team, and the perimeter guys, they did a good job on Arinze. We knew that going in, that they were going to stay with him, but that creates driving areas because they're worried about him, and it gives Paul and Johnny an opportunity to get to the basket. And those two guys were tremendous today. Thank you. Questions?
Coach, what changed on defense? Can you explain how it changed?
We tightened up. We moved back in a little bit. Didn't put quite as much outside pressure. Stopped the dribble penetration. Took away the high post. Right when we did that, they kind of took a couple threes, which that's what they're going to do in that situation, and missed, and we got right back in it. But that was the difference. We stopped it, and then we did a better job when they did get in there of closing down the layup and making them take the in-between, the 8-10 footer, and they missed a few of those. That's not an easy shot. It's not an easy shot.
Could you sense that deflated them when they started missing those threes? I mean, they're a young team, and they started.
Well, they did that against us in Syracuse and came back and scored 50 in the second half. So, they beat us. We played well the first half in Syracuse, and we just came out and got in foul trouble. Dante was out, and Arinze was out, and we just didn't get back well. And they just took it to us in Syracuse.
This was your third game in like 7 days with basically 6 guys, and yet the intensity level today seemed really high.
Well, when you lose a game like this, everybody says you're tired. When you win, nobody brings it up. That's just the way it is. They played, they were fine.
But they looked more fresh than Villanova did. Villanova played 9 guys. Do you work on conditioning more now, or
Yeah, we do less. We do less in practice than we ever have. When we do very little in practice now. You just can't. You play. First day is almost a walk-through day, and hardly any scrimmage and anything at all. And the second day is along the same lines, and try to save as much as you can. And that's the bottom line. But JT's been playing. He fell on the ice and hurt his shoulders, our walk-on backup guard. So Scoop hasn't been able to practice all week, so I didn't want to use him much at all, if any. He just hasn't been in practice. And he needs a few days of practice to catch back up. And, we got a game Wednesday, and then we get a few days off. So, we just got to gear up and get ready for Wednesday.
Jay commented about Johnny's intensity today, both in terms of how he attacked offensively, but also just talking on the floor.
Yeah, both Paul and him came out talking in the beginning from the locker room to start the game on, more than they have all year. And I think with them both being in the backcourt, I think that they kind of are more like communicating, talking better, I think. I think that's been a big help for us. Christoph's been tremendous. As long as we get back, we got a bigger team. We rebound better. I think they out-rebounded us in Syracuse, scored inside against us. We out-rebound them here. So that size does help us.
Coach, on your end, at least, is the scoop matter resolved?
Yeah, went through the normal university procedures. Judicial affairs, we're not allowed to talk about that beforehand or during. It went through the process, and it's been resolved.
See him for the rest of the season then, you expect?
Unless something happens today, tomorrow, next week.
Hearing and it's all over.
Everything's done.
Coach, can you talk about how Kristoff fits in with the flow of the offense the last few games?
Well, he mostly stays out of the way and lets the other guys play, and if he gets an opportunity to get back in there, he sneaks behind somebody when they forget about him, which they're going to do, and he finishes. I told him if he didn't have a left hand, he couldn't score. But, you know, he fits in his spot. He doesn't. He's a good example for a lot of young guys. He doesn't try to do too much. Unfortunately, it's not a lesson learned by too many young players. He just fits in, does what he can do, and I think he could play a lot better. I think he'll get better. I think he, you know, is getting a little better, but I think he can play better even.
You survived without Orense for the last 10 minutes of the game when he went.
You know, Ricky, that was huge. Ricky was tremendous. I didn't even think about bringing AO back. I mean, Ricky was doing such a great job, rebound, playing defense. You know, I was really impressed with what he did, and he needs to play for us. So to get him in there and give him that opportunity to, you know, to come through in a big situation, I think is big for us. He was really good. He got a nice offensive rebound off a free throw. He got a couple defensive rebounds. You know, he was really good. Really did a great job for us today.
Coach, you won 3 straight, but how tough is it to manage these games when you're getting these guys in foul trouble?
Well, I don't have to worry too much about putting people in. It's not too many decisions to make there. I can concentrate on figuring out what plays we're going to run and stuff like that. I just tell them don't foul anybody. It's good coaching, I think.
Coach, what was it about Paul Harris's play that made him so effective offensively?
Well, they're pressure team, and they're pressuring. There's no help when he gets to the basket because they're worried about AO or Renze down there. But any pressure team, it gives him that opportunity to get into the lane area. That's when he usually plays well. Soft team, soft defense, back in there. He's got to get to the basket to be effective. I think he did make one jump shot today, but, you know, that's about the limit.
Is it easier for him to be effective when he's in that guard spot with Kristoff?
I don't know if that. It shouldn't be. Our offense is very similar for the 2 and the 3. I think psychologically he thinks it's different. I'm not going to argue with him.
You talked about him playing very well at the basket, but the 12 of 16 from the line was also a big issue.
Yeah. Well, he can make free throws. He can make 15-foot jump shots, and when he sticks with those, I'm happy. He's not, but I am.
Coach, you mentioned the driving lanes that opened up and allowed you to get to the basket easily. Any other flaws you saw in Villanova's team defense? They've really been struggling of late. Anything you kind of picked out to?
They're just such a good pressure team that if you can get by that guard and, you know, get to the lane, they're pressuring out so much on the entries that it's. Although they get back in, I mean, they drew a couple charges. I just thought we were good and our spacing was good and we picked the right times to go. And you know. I mean, they're worried about AO, which they should be. He was 10 for 13 last game, and they're worried about Dante because he's difficult to guard down there. So that should create some space for the other guys. And then Kristoff, they tend to come off him, and when they did, he made them pay. He got in there and got in good positions. We don't try to get three-point shots. We try to sneak guys in to get layups because we can't really got one guy that can shoot out there, which might not be a bad thing sometimes. All right? Thank you.